Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Breathe the Beautician. And this week, I just want to kind of go over some of the basics of the proper pressing techniques and things you should know about the stove and the pressing comb. So let's just get into it. Me personally, I use two pressing combs. The first one I use is made by Annie. It's the smaller one. So I use a big comb and then I use a small one. So this one is the smaller one. I'm gonna open it. So this is the smaller comb. The teeth are very close together and is really good for getting the edges, the kitchen, and really close. This is actually my favorite one. The next comb. Now this comb is made by Hot and Hotter. This is what it looks like. And this one is just the comb that I use. It's like my multi-purpose comb. When I first started pressing hair, this was the only comb that I was using. But then I worked in a salon with somebody named Michael, and she would use two combs. And I noticed that one of them was smaller. And so I realized that the smaller comb is better for getting, the shorter hairs, the baby hairs, and the kitchen. The big comb can be used as well, but it's just easier to get to those hairs with the smaller comb. I do understand that this tool gets really hot, and sometimes we make mistakes, but you want to try to aim to not burn the client. And if you do, it's just a small nick, maybe because they moved, but you want to aim to try to make this as painless as possible. Burning has a lot to do with technique, and that will be on part 2. So you guys stay tuned for that video. The second one is burning the hair out. That's mainly what this video is about. As you guys see here, I have paper towel. So if you're going to be pressing with the traditional pressing combs and the traditional stove, you want to keep rolls of paper towel handy. And so I kind of just get two. I put them together and then I fold it in half to make a square. And I go ahead and slide it right under the stove as so. So as I'm taking the comb out, I'm literally just setting it there. It's not that far. You could keep the napkin closer to you, but just for production purposes, I slide it right under the stove like so. And the third one is burning the scalp. That will be addressed in the second video as well, because it's all about the technique. The teeth should not touch the scalp. We're just using the teeth to separate the hair. You really press with the back of the pressing comb. So part 2 is going to go more in depth, and I'm a visual learner, so I see part 2 being more beneficial to people who have to see what I'm talking about as far as technique goes. So I just want to get into how long we're leaving our combs in the stove. Also, the color of the paper towel when you do take the comb out. So also, I do want to show you guys the proper way to lay the comb in the stove. Most people, they're going to stick the comb in there as so. But the comb is not straight. And the only part of the comb that is getting hot is this top part. So I come in from the side and I stick the comb in there. And if you can see, the comb is laying flat against the base of the stove. If I'm doing two combs, I'm going to lay this one in there to where it's resting right on top of the other comb. That way it's still level with the heating, as far as the heating goes. I'm going to take this one out because I want to show you guys the color of the paper towel as it warms up. Okay, let me lay it on there. And I'm going to stick this one in, like I told you guys, from the side where you see it laying flat. Okay, so this one is actually burning the paper a little bit. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to zoom in. But if you can see, there's a very light shade um, on the paper. That is almost the perfect temperature. You want the shade of brown to be just enough that you see it slightly burn the paper. Anything darker than that is too hot. You shouldn't have to leave it in there that long. Okay. So as you see, look at that. Would you want somebody touching your hair with this? So I'm laying it on a towel. Let's see if it burns it. Yep, it burned it. Okay. I want to show y'all. Okay. So as you can see, that is like a nice brown shade burnt on there. That or darker is too hot. So if you see the burn mark in the paper towel, what you want to do is you want to let it stay there a little while, cool off. Press it on a separate area of the towel, and when it shows up as nothing, that's when you can proceed forward to pressing your client's hair. And so I think that's where a lot of stylists go wrong, with letting the comb get too hot. And sometimes they're just not testing the tool before touching the client's hair. And that is an absolute no-no. You always want to test hot tools because there's no way to gauge how hot this stove gets. We just know it's hot as it's really hot. So the only thing that's keeping you from burning your client or burning their hair is this piece of paper towel. And it's going to save a lot of you some trouble. So as I stated before, we're sticking the comb in there sideways, making sure it's flat because you want an even level of heat on the comb. You don't just want one part of the comb to be hot, because we need it to be evenly hot so that we can ensure that we're doing the best job we can. I say maybe 10 seconds max is like perfect, even a little less. Take it out. It's a method. You're sticking it in there, making sure it's flat. You're taking it out, and it's going straight to the paper towel. Do not take it out of the stove and go straight to your client's hair. Do not do that. So we're testing it on the paper. Once the paper is cool, then we proceed to press our client's hair. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. I want you guys to take heed to everything I told you guys in this video. These combs are not online. I have tried to find them online. They're marked up a tremendous amount. There are certain beauty supply stores that I can get these from, but I will leave the link in the description. These are the two combs that I use. I use the larger comb with very close teeth, and then I use a smaller comb with very close teeth, as you guys see, like so. They're made by two different brands. I don't know, Hot and Hotter does not have the small one like Annie, and Annie does not have a bigger comb with close teeth. That's so weird. Make sure you guys comment. Let me know what you thought about the content today. Subscribe so that you can get the alert for part 2. And make sure you guys watch part 2 so you can actually see the technique that goes with everything that I spoke about today. Once I apply the technique, you guys will have a better understanding of everything I'm saying. I will also reiterate everything that I mentioned today just to refresh you guys. But as always, thank you guys for watching. If you are not following me on Instagram, please follow me. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And as always, leave comments. Let me know feedback. Comment anything that you guys want to see coming forward. And it's always a pleasure. Thank you guys again.